thrilled to have you here this morning and in person. Can we just get a little bit of a round of applause for that? We can officially say welcome to the 2022 State of the Town of Cheektowaga. We extend a hearty thank you to each of our event sponsors that you see recognized around the room, without whom this morning would not be possible. Our mission at the Chamber is to foster a thriving business community, a mission that's even more critical today as we move forward toward a post-COVID economic environment. Many of the challenges facing our community today existed pre-pandemic and have been exacerbated, and their impacts accelerated over the past couple of years. Businesses are only as successful as the community in which they operate, and simultaneously, communities are only as successful as the businesses within them. Can I ask if you or your company or your organization is a member of the Cheektowaga Chamber of Commerce, that you please stand? On behalf of our staff and board, and personally, thank you for your continued support. The Chamber has served this community for the past 83 years, and it's because of each of you that we can continue to do so. You can be seated. Thank you. 100% of our revenue at the Chamber is derived from membership investments and fundraising at signature events such as this one today, and we're so appreciative of your involvement. It's imperative that we continue to support our business community and identify actionable solutions and initiatives around workforce development, transportation, and more as we continue to build our economic resiliency for the future. Leading that charge for the Chamber are the members of our Board of Directors. Will board members present please stand as your name is called? Chairman, Evan Bouzier, Hurwitz and Fine PC. Chair-elect, Jeffrey Ryan, the Small Business Partners. Michael Hensley, Loom Strategies and our immediate past chair. Camille Brandon, O'Donnell and Associates. Michael Cohen, Walden Galleria. Mark Meyerhofer, Charter Communications. And Pierre Albertine, NOCO. And if I missed anyone in the room, please stand. All right. Thank you all for your service and dedication to the mission. There are a number of teams that we've had the opportunity to work and connect with over the past year. I'd like to recognize the members of the Cheektowaga Community Collaborative, or C3. If you are actively involved with the collaborative, please stand. You know, a lot of standing this morning. Can we give these incredible individuals a round of applause, please? Thank you. This team of stakeholders and community leaders has grown exponentially in the last several months, and that's a direct result of the expanding needs in our community. In August, the first C3 Community Summit was held and connected over 130 service providers for a day of education and resource sharing. And since then, the collaborative has divided into working groups focused on the Cheektowaga Hub, on housing, transportation, and workforce. These focus areas are also in alignment with the priorities laid out in the town's newly adopted comprehensive plan that the supervisor will speak on later this morning. This solutions-based focus across the board is what will continue to drive progress in our community. I'd also like to take a second to acknowledge the tremendous asset that we have in Villa Maria College. I learned recently that Villa was ranked by US News as the 8th best college in the North for social mobility. That is a huge testament to their leadership team here today and their focus on student-centered support systems. Our current and future workforce is made better because of the work that you're doing. As we continue to collaborate and convene resources, we look forward to expanding our business memberships and community partnerships through the Chamber in the next year. We have several exciting new initiatives that will be rolling out in the near future, including an online learning platform for educational content and resources to support business growth, provided by members and for members. Chambers of Commerce are vital in our communities. Thank you also to the leaders and members of the Lancaster, Depew, and Alma Chamber joining us this morning. Thank you for being here. If you're interested in learning more about how you can be a part of our work, Please visit the table in the back and connect with us after. All right, without further ado, please help me welcome our elected officials and honored guests. I'd like to recognize this morning Joan Kessner, Western New York Director representing Governor Kathy Hochul. Thank you for being here. Representing the 63rd Senate District and chairing the state's Committee on Transportation, Senator Tim Kennedy. Would you please join us in chair? Go ahead.
Good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? It is a beautiful sight for me to stand up here and look at so many smiling faces here at Creekside Banquet Hall. Haven't they done a nice job? Can we give a round of applause? And it's just good to be in person. It's good to see each other's faces, holy. It's good to see everybody smiling because it's Friday. And it's really great to be with everybody to celebrate the Cheektowaga Chamber of Commerce annual get together. I would like to really recognize Christina Goff. Can we give her a round of applause? So much work on a regular basis to amplify the voice, not only of the business community here at Cheektowaga, but really of all of Western New York. The surrounding communities included. I'm just so proud and grateful of the relationship that we've had over the years and the relationship that I and my office have had with so many of the businesses here in this great town and in Western New York in general. I want to recognize a number of people that I work closely with in my office every single day. First of all, from my office, many of you know him, but I refer to him as Mr. Cheektowaga. That's Bob Brandon. Assembly, I know you're going to hear from Elizabeth in her office, but Assemblywoman Monica Wallace and I work very closely to make sure that we're delivering for the town of Cheektowaga, for the town of Lancaster that she represents. But, you know, in my work in the legislature as chair of transportation, as Christina has mentioned, you know, my work takes me away from my district oftentimes to deliver all over the place, but we're always talking about what's going on at home first, what's happening in our community, the needs of our community first. And, you know, we are delivering all throughout Western New York, all throughout the state. Great leaders in the town of Cheektowaga as well include from the village of Depew, Mayor Peterson is here, and from the village of Sloan, Mayor Ferrucci is here. Thank you both for your leadership. My great friend from the town of Cheektowaga leading the charge, Supervisor Diane Benchkowski. I can tell you over many years that I've worked with Supervisor Benchkowski, we've helped to deliver record levels of funding to the town of Cheektowaga, whether it's been transportation dollars, whether it's been infrastructure dollars to fix the decades-long injustices of the environment where they've combined the sewers and the rainfall overflowed that polluted Skajackwada Creek. We are on it, and we work closely with Supervisor Benchkowski's office, as well as so many members of the town council in the town of Cheektowaga. And I'm just so proud of the work that we've done collectively together. I also want to recognize legislator Tim Myers and my friend legislator Frank Todaro that are here today, again, representing the great town of Cheektowaga and the town of Lancaster. I work very closely with them as well. And, you know, when we think about what's happening here in Western New York, Cheektowaga, Lancaster, Amherst, Buffalo, Lackawanna, we think about the greater community, we think about the great state, think about opportunity that exists right in front of us. And I can tell you there's never been a better time to be a Western New Yorker. There's never been a better time to be a New Yorker because we've got great leadership at the top. Governor Kathy Hochul is delivering out of the gate a historic governor from our community, understanding our community, working with our community, and taking New York State to whole different heights. The first woman in the history of New York State, think about that, nearly 250 years. The first Buffalonian in 135 years since Grover Cleveland. And we were working very closely with Governor Hochul to make sure that we are delivering for our community more so than ever before. And I'd like to recognize her regional director, her real director of everything, as I refer to her, of all things, Governor Hochul, of all things Western New York and New York State, and that's the great Joan Kessner. Thank you so much for being with us here today, Joan. And you will see why I'm so high on her and the governor. And I will tell you, in no uncertain terms, that we are delivering. The state legislature is poised to put forward a budget that takes care of people, that takes care of the issues that government is supposed to be taking care of, whether we're talking about historic investments in infrastructure, our roads and our bridges, our infrastructure and sewer lines and power lines and broadband, extending that across the community, our investment in electric vehicles. I think Dennis Elsenbeck over here could tell you a little bit, former president of National Grid that we work closely with now, with Verdi Parenti out on East Delavan, where they're reinventing electric vehicles. Was an article in today's paper about Moog and the investment that they're making in electric construction vehicles right here in Western New York. We're going to be the center of the world for electric construction vehicles. It's already begun. And when we talk about investing in infrastructure, how about human infrastructure? How about education and job training and public education? Well, we're investing a record level of public education dollars all across the state of New York. So every single community that we all live in, across the state, but especially here in Western New York, where we've gotten the short end of the stick in years past, we're getting record levels of education funding. Not only is that going to help our kids, but that's going to ensure that we're taking the pressure off the property tax levy in every single one of our communities across the board. So we've got a lot of work to do. We're looking forward to doing it. I could go on here forever. It's not my show, it's Christina's. But I'm really proud and honored to be here with so many of you today. And it's really great to be with you. And I look forward to continue work together with each and every one of you and to continue to deliver on successes for our community and especially for the business community. Thank you so much, everybody. Chocolate buffalo, perfect.
Thank you for being here and for your leadership. Representing Assemblymember Monica Wallace with the 143rd Assembly District, Director of Community Affairs, Elizabeth Brickworth. Would you like to speak?
Hello, everyone. Thank you to the Cheektowaga Chamber of Commerce and President and CEO Christina Groff, Board Chairman Evan Bougier, and the rest of the Cheektowaga Chamber staff and directors for inviting our office to this wonderful event. Thank you to Senator Kennedy, Legislator Todaro, Legislator Timothy Myers, Mayor Peterson, Supervisor Benchkowski, and Mayor Thomas Ferrucci, as well as Joan Kessner for representing the lovely Governor Hochul. Assemblymember Wallace is disappointed that she was unable to make it today due to the demands of the legislative session. She wishes she could be here and sends her regrets. She wanted me to take a moment to recognize the folks in Cheektowaga who went above and beyond to make this community a better place to live. Most notably, the heroes at St. Joseph's campus and elsewhere who worked endless hours to save countless lives. And essential workers like first responders, transit drivers, food service workers, and so many more who put their health on the line to keep our essential services operating. But beyond those COVID heroes, many in the business community stepped up in important ways and made a meaningful difference in people's lives. Chuddy Paper Company worked tirelessly to ensure their clients received effective, proven products to help curb the spread of COVID-19. Goodwill of Western New York developed a workforce training program at a time when thousands of our friends and neighbors suddenly found themselves unemployed. And this past summer, Chief Brian Poole stepped up to lead the Cheektowaga Police Department in the wake of the shocking and devastating loss of Chief Michael Sawinski. We will all miss Chief Michael Sawinski, who is an outstanding and committed police chief, and we will keep him in our thoughts. But Cheektowaga Police could not have found a more capable successor than Chief Gould. He is a truly dedicated and compassionate public servant who understands that we need real solutions that get to the root causes of social problems. Thanks in no small part to the officials and business leaders in this room, we have seen many successes this year in Cheektowaga, including the excited opening of the Boys and Girls Club. As you know, it's budget season, and Assemblymember Wallace is focused on bringing resources back to the community in order to continue these successes. Since 2017, Assemblymember Wallace has secured $20 million for this district, including $350,000 to open a Boys and Girls Club, $10,000 for the Cheektowaga's first all-accessible playground, $130,000 for playground equipment and a new splash pad at Grove. Nearly $1 million for programming, technology, and staff for Cheektowaga. Hundreds of thousands to help local firefighters and police officers purchase essential equipment. And millions along with Senator Kennedy to replace Cheektowaga's aging sewer system in order to finally stop pollution and the degradation of Skajacado Creek. She was encouraged by many of Governor Hochul's proposals and believes her budget reflects someone who understands the needs of Western New Yorkers and someone who worked in town government. This session, Assemblymember Wallace will make sure AIM funding stays in the budget, and she will work to eliminate the sales tax intercept and will make sales tax permanent. She also appreciates how critical it is to continue funding water and sewer infrastructure, especially in the light of the town's continued obligations under the DEC consent order. Assemblymember Wallace is working to help residents and businesses get back to normal post-pandemic. She is fighting for resources to help address mental health and substance abuse issues that have been exacerbated by the pandemic. She fought for funds for small businesses and is working to address the expected increase in unemployment insurance rates because she recognizes this can be devastating for small businesses. She's also fighting for more money for childcare because she recognizes that in order for everyone to get back to work, they need to have a safe, affordable childcare. A study recently conducted by Erie County showed that in 2 years, from 2019 to 2020, Erie County lost over 11% of their childcare slots. Similar in Tompkins County, a study showed that 11% of parents left the workforce permanently due to a lack of childcare. Having adequate childcare is not only a parent issue, it is a business issue and a community issue. We need adequate childcare to help get folks back to work. The Assembly encourages you to make your voice heard on this issue by supporting the call for more money for childcare. As always, please do not hesitate to reach out to Assemblymember Wallace if her office can help. Office helps with accessing statewide resources and assistance, answering complex questions on existing laws and pending legislation, and drawing attention to issues that are affecting our community. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity for allowing me to say a few words on behalf of Assemblymember Monica Wallace. Thank you.
Thank you. We truly appreciate the staunch advocacy of the Assembly member, the work for the community, and the partnership we have with the team. Representing Erie County's 8th District, Legislator Frank Todaro, would you care to say a few words?
Thank you, Christina. Well, I'll tell you, this is great to see some smiles today. It really is. It's been a little awkward with masks, but now you can actually see somebody and tell how they feel. It's great. So I'll start with that. But for those that don't know me, my name is Frank Todaro. I represent Erie County Legislature for the 8th District, which encompasses Lancaster, Alden, Depew, And they say the better part of Cheektowaga, but that's up for debate. But I gotta say that it's nice that Tim Myers, who could not be here today. You guys are spoiled. We come from different political views, but we do come together to make Cheektowaga a better community. So we have two legislators doing our jobs for all of you, and we're honored to do that. I know I could speak on behalf of him, he'd be happy. Christina Goff, thank you for putting this together today. It is a great thing that we can meet here together and see everybody and talk. I also like to thank Supervisor Diane Benchkowski for all the hard work that you do and advocacy for the town of Cheektowaga for years. There's a lot of good things that they're saying about you, and I'm proud to hear that. So thank you for what you do. So in my time as a county legislator, I've been proud to present the community, and it's been a pleasure getting to know you over the last few years. Those of us in government need to work together. And when that happens, I believe that our communities will truly thrive. At the county level, my primary focus has been advocating for property tax relief. Additionally, I've been a big supporter for funding the parks, infrastructure, small businesses, and community programming for our residents. In November, I did advance a resolution to continue the rehabilitation of Roden Road in Cheektowaga and Depew. Projects like this are a big undertaking, and it's important to keep things moving as quickly as possible so taxpayers have safe, reliable roads to drive on. Through the American Rescue Plan, the county will also receive $5 million towards a new highway barn in the Harlem district. I'd like to applaud the town council for their efforts to bring green light networks to Cheektowaga. It's great that this will bring high-speed internet to 10,000 homes, in addition to creating jobs and work for local contractors. At the legislature, we just approved the next steps in bringing high-speed internet to more county residents. In this day and age, we have more people working and learning remotely, and it's extremely important that everyone has reliable internet access. In addition to serving as a county legislator, I'm a business owner. I'm the owner of Collision Masters located downtown behind the casino. I have 25 employees. It has been a difficult 2 years. I'm proud of my employees that hung on, stuck with me. We were, just glad to keep the cars coming in. We would think, we were concerned that less people were driving on the road, but actually the accidents went up because a lot of things were on people's minds. Getting to work, concerned about their jobs, vaccinations, their children in school. It's been a real trying time for the last 2 years. And we're getting through this. We are, I'm very glad that my employees stuck through it. They stuck with me. To stand here today and deliver this is a truly an honor for me. But, businesses today are having supply chain issues, workforce issues, and, I know we will prevail. This is the United States of America. This is Cheektowaga. I know we can get this done. And one other thing I do want to kind of mention here is a good friend of mine, Dave Gordon. He's a truly dear friend of mine. We do hang out a lot, but I think it's a moment here that, government can do a lot to bring money into any community. But when an actual business would step up without an ask and deliver a sizable donation to the Boys and Girls Club, I think that, Dave, stand up. We've got to give you a round of applause. Thank you. Also, we have Nathan, his son, here standing. That's also with him. Thank you, Nathan. So I want to finish by saying thank you, everybody, for allowing me a moment here to just get a few things off my chest with you today. And I really appreciate seeing everybody today without a mask, which is great. We're moving forward. And Senator Tim Kennedy, my dear friend, also, thank you. I appreciate what you do. It's great that I can call you and you make things happen. Appreciate that. And Mayor of Depew, Kevin Peterson, thank you. I do know that Audrey Hammonick is here also from Depew, the trustee. So thank you for coming. She's always around, always there. Thank you, Audrey. And Chief Gould, thank you too. So I know I'm missing a few here, but I apologize. in advance. So I'm getting better at this. It's only been one 2 years, so we'll get there. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's grateful for the lens that you have when it comes to the small business community and for the constant work that you're doing. It is, as we've heard mentioned, also a pleasure to have with us Village of Depew Mayor Kevin Peterson. Would you care to come up and say a few remarks? Thank you.
He's reaching in his pocket for something that's written down. So Christina and Supervisor Miskowski, thank you so much for asking me to be here today. I'm honored. And Bob, you know, I'm always on you at my meetings with the stopwatch. So I have 7 minutes. So you're in charge, okay? So with Village of Depew being 2/3 in the town of Cheektowaga, I want to take this opportunity today to talk about some of the great things that are going on in Depew. I'll start with Fireman's Park. It's been a project of mine since I was elected in 2019 to make major improvements to our oldest park that's in the village and one that gets used an awful lot. With the help of federal government and the money from the American Rescue Plan, we are building a new pavilion and bathroom set there, which is about $700,000 to $800,000. So we're looking forward to this year to being over. It'll be a 30 by 100-foot structure with overhangs on both sides of 10 feet. It'll truly be the jewel of that park. Most recently, the last couple of weeks, the village was awarded a $50,000 grant from MVP Health and the National Fitness Council. And that's to build what is known as a fitness court. It's 38 by 38 feet. And it encompasses 7 different exercise, different types of exercises. It's all self-run. You'll go up to your smartphone to the Q code, and it'll give you thousands of different workouts. Anybody in the area will be welcome there. It's the first in Western New York. The closest one to here is in the suburb of Rochester. So this is very exciting. It arrived last week. As soon as things get, so we can start working on it, and the anticipated ribbon cutting is June 1st. Basically, it's to bring free fitness to anybody that can come and enjoy it. So look forward to that. Fireman's Park was also in line for $125,000 to redo the sidewalks and install lights on Erie Street. Something that was never put up in that park, strangely enough. We're also going to make use of some of that rescue money, even though we did not get a $700,000 grant for additional walkways, bike paths, trees, benches, shelters, and so forth. We will reapply this year. However, we'll look to put some of that money towards some of the walkways that will connect the gazebo over to the new pavilion, over to the new fitness park. I did want to take a moment to recognize that my deputy mayor, Erica Stepniak, has been with me since 2019, has been instrumental in working on grants with me. And she has been chairman of our tree board committee, which has gotten the village Tree USA status in 2020. And we've devoted money to re-treeing the village. Very important with all the ash trees dead. I also want to take a moment to recognize Audrey Hamonic, our trustee, for 6 years of my second term. And she's very instrumental with DCAT, to Community Action Team, and of course with Tom Sweeney in redoing the Don Polsky building, which is just outside of Village Hall. Very exciting for Audrey. She works her tail off, and she just is a grassroots effort to secure donations and get that building up and running. And I know that the folks in what is my new code enforcement office, I've been working yesterday. They got a tour of the building, and I'm sure that we're going to be moving forward this year with some things. One other thing that's in the town of Cheektowaga, just off of Broadway, was the old Depew reclamation land in the sixties and seventies. Village owns 35 acres just beyond Twin Village Salvage on the south side of Broadway. And you've always seen a small strawberry stand building that's sitting out. Because Mecca Farms was a part of that. Well, the DEC came to us, as they have in the past with other things, and said that we needed to clean up some of that dump that there was leaching into the creek, Hayden Creek. This was in 2019. So we looked at different situations. Are we going to look at another, have to borrow money in order to pay for the remediation of this project? So my attorney, our attorney, village attorney, Sam Allen, and I worked, and we actually sold 15 of those acres to National Energy Development, which is a Depew company. And this year, as you can see, if you drive by there, it's all flat. It's all ready to go for solar panels, and that'll be very shortly. They're also having an extension for an additional 13 acres. Still leave the village what I call waterfront property. At some point in time, I'd like to be able to put a small park back in there. DEC sort of nixed us on that back in 2020. They want to see how things work out with the remediation of the landfill. That will benefit not only the village, its residents, and the Depew school system. On the other side of transit, we took advantage of CARES Act and secured almost $170,000 to redo one of our neighborhood parks, the West Dawson Park, which is near historic Dawson Field, which has been renovated recently by the Lancaster Baseball Booster Club. And in that park, we're turning it into an all-inclusive park. The safety service, it'll be train themed, which ties in with the village of Depew. And that got started in October with the nice weather in the fall, and that'll be finished up here before May. So a couple of weeks back, I know, Diane, you got the jump on me a little bit, but you stirred my interest. So the village of Depew will be home to GoNet Street on George Urban Boulevard. And I am excited to have them actually in the village of Depew, just to the west of the George Urban Business Park. I talked with their president a couple of weeks back, in their code office, and almost 65 people will be working there over the next couple of years. And the exciting part about it is that Depew's near the top of the list to get fiber. Cheektowaga, Lancaster, North Tonawanda, and Tonawanda. Very excited. They're investing $50 million in this. So that's big news. I want to say this closing. How much time do I have? A couple minutes? Okay. All right. So one thing at the village level, and to an awful lot of extent, the same thing at the town. No matter what your political affiliation is, you need to work together. And I can't say anything more than enough that during the crises that we just can't say it was totally out of it, but I'm proud to say that we work together, Diane, the Cheektowaga, Lancaster, and the village of Lancaster, in making sure that we were on the same page as things unfold. Whether or not we opened our pools during that first summer, it was instrumental between the three pools, Lancaster, Cheektowaga, and Depew. If one opened, they'd be swamped with people from others that couldn't enjoy that. So we did keep it closed. We opened them all back up again last year. We've been on board, whether it was declaring curfews, if I recall. And most recently, town of Cheektowaga has helped out the village of Depew when we were without a code office. We lost actually all of our code people. And through a shared services agreement, Rick Coburn has been working as we rehired two full-time people. And I'm excited in the new direction that we're taking that building department. Senator Tim Kennedy, you helped us out with my George Urban Boulevard safety project, where we installed flashing lights and speed detectors in front of the Canaletian Center. And it's been tremendous. We keep them running all day long, all week long, so you know how fast you're going. And the folks there couldn't be happier that we take that step. The low bridge clearance at the CSX bridge has seen a lot of flashing lights go off on my home as well. But I can't say that you stop that altogether, but there's just no way you're gonna, train everybody to do that. But we have eliminated an awful lot of strikes to the bridge. Assemblymember Wallace, although she's not here today, recently she secured $120,000, which got body cameras for our police force. It got pagers for our fire department. It got an inflatable boat for our fire department so they can do more water rescue. Got a speed sign for the police department. And finally, it secured radios for our OEM. I think that we used that 120 grand pretty wisely. Thank you. Legislator Tadaro, thank you very much for your support of the village of the Pew. You've been there every time I've called. You answer my text immediately, including this morning. So I appreciate all the help and the doors that you opened for me. Let me just make sure I got everybody on my list here. Yeah, just really, it's important. Like, same thing on Lancaster and the village of Lancaster. Working together at this level, you have to, otherwise you will not succeed. And even though we all don't share the same political ideology, that doesn't matter when it comes to serving the public at election. So thank you again for having me. Appreciate it. Nice to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here and for sharing your words this morning. I'd also like to recognize Mayor Thomas Ferrucci and the team representing the village of Sloan. Thank you all for being here today. And now, the moment we've been waiting for. At this time, to deliver the 2022 annual State of the Town of Cheektowaga address, I am pleased to introduce our supervisor, Diane Benchkowski.
Sure, I get water. Good morning, everyone. I'm so honored to be here today. I will start out by thanking Cheektowaga Chamber of Commerce President and Chief Executive Officer Christina Graf and Chairman Evan Bouzier for putting this event together. As always, a big thank you goes out to my fellow town board members, Jerry Kaminsky, Linda Hammer, Christine Adamczak, Brian Noah, Brian Pilarski, and Michael Jasinski, our newest council member. I would also like to thank my colleagues in government. Without them, we could not do what we did. State Senator Tim Kennedy, thank you for all the help you've given in Cheektowaga. Assembly Member Monica Wallace, please let her know I thanked her. Erie County legislators Myers and Tadaro, and DPU Mayor Kevin Peterson, and Sloan Mayor Tom Ferrucci. It's been great working with both of you. We also have Highway Superintendent Mark Wagner, and today we have Deputy Highway Superintendent Charlie Markell here with us. As well as I want to thank our town clerk Kim Burst and our two town justices, Judge Spire and Judge Stevens, who couldn't be here today. All of whom continue to do an outstanding job in support of our community. And a special thank you to all our department heads that are here tonight, or this morning, and our town employees, who really do a tremendous job 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, to help make our town the great community that it is. Thank you all for making our town a better place. Let us give all of us, ourselves, a big round of applause. 2020 and 2021 were filled with experiences we will never forget. When historians refer to these years, one word comes to mind: COVID-19 will be discussed prominently in every book written. Whether any of us want to admit it or not, all of us have lived through and are still living through this history-making pandemic. which will be studied over the next decades, even centuries. Included in those studies will be the ways our local governments handle things, the good and the not so good. It all began on March 16, 2020, when it was imperative that we enact a state of emergency through the rest of 2020 and the first half of the year 2021. With vaccines and the due diligence of social distancing and mask wearing, we were fortunate to see our COVID-19 cases decline drastically. And on June 24th, 2021, we were able to rescind the state of emergency. What a happy day that was. We thought we saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Most restrictions were lifted, and I remember the nation rejoicing with fireworks. The town board was able to hold in-person town board meetings again and engage with our residents in person instead of remotely. Youth and senior programming were on their way to full schedule, thanks to Carrie Page and Joe Gorman here today. The summer seemed to be showing signs of hope. Unfortunately, once the colder autumn weather came upon us, our COVID-19 cases were on a sharp rise again. So much so that on November 19th, 2021, the town needed to go into a second state of emergency. COVID-19 was spreading again like wildfire amongst our town employees and residents. The fear was, how would the town be able to provide its essential services to our residents if a majority of our workforce was out sick due to COVID? However, I am happy to report that as of today, our COVID-19 cases are on the decline. Unfortunately, however, we remain in a state of emergency to not only protect the residents and the business owners of the town, but we also need to protect our town employees. Those were and continue to be our number one priorities. Even with the challenges, the town was able to mark 2021 as another successful year with a healthy economy. Cheektowaga's housing market continues to climb, and businesses and new developments continue to move into the town at record rates. Thankfully, we were able to increase our sales tax revenue projections by $1 million in this 2022 budget. Most of our other revenues have been strong as well. The federal government provided American Rescue Plan funding to local governments, of which the town is earmarked to receive $25.4 million to be used over the next 4 years. The town board is still in the process of determining how to use that money. So I'm sure that'll be the highlight for the 2023 state of the town. With regard to our appropriation plan, we provided for some wage increases in this budget, and we were very thankful for our employees and their efforts to provide our essential services to our residents during these difficult times. Additionally, we continue to plan for minimum wage increases, along with the demand in the marketplace to find reliable employees to work in some of these part-time positions. Supply and demand have created many higher costs for goods and services that the town needs to purchase, such as gas and diesel, parts and supplies, blacktop, and even sanitation disposal and landfill costs, to name a few. Even with the challenges presented to us the last 2 years, the town board adopted a 2022 budget of $95.6 million. That gave most of the residents an extremely modest tax levy increase this year, which is the slightest amount over 0%. The town board felt this was important to accomplish in order to boost our economy and appeal to developers, future investment in our town, and most importantly, for our residents who are experiencing hardships now to make ends meet. Our town board and department heads are committed to ensuring that they are fiscally prudent with your taxpayer dollars. Comprehensive plan, long-awaited comprehensive plan, had started or was adopted last year. This land use planning document was the first successful update of our town's plan in over 25 years. For those of you unfamiliar, a comprehensive plan is a community-based vision document that is developed in part with both resident feedback and data analysis to chart the town's growth path going forward. Considered a living document, our plan has the flexibility to adapt to both development and demographic changes, as fluctuation of both are inherent and dictate the way a community evolves. The plan itself can be broken up into 4 main parts. The community profile, what we have to work. Our community vision and goals, what do we want for the town? Objectives, actions, what action do we take? And our implementation plan, how do we get there? The main consensus determined was building upon ourselves and investing in our expansive park system that features 2 anchor parks, Stiglmeyer Park and Town Park, with various community parks throughout residential communities. Next, dining and shopping. The Walden Galleria Mall and the area around that center is the last retail stronghold of its kind in the region. Strategic investment in understanding our infrastructure capacity and transforming the zoning will create adaptability of this region and allow for long-term sustainability. Next, our neighborhoods, many of which are thriving, walkable communities, need to be even more walkable. Quality of life is key to a successful residential neighborhood. Investment in better pedestrian and bicycle access across our residential communities will enable just that. Next, transportation. Cheektowaga is the central community of our county and the hub for a variety of transportation. Enabling more complete streets, better mass transit, and better connectivity regionally and beyond will be a key to our success. And most importantly, we want to focus on our people, improving quality of life within the town by providing more benefits from your tax dollars and creating opportunities for increased amenities, from sidewalk connectivity to pursuing stronger regional mass transit connection, and enabling better design standards for those wishing to develop in the town and preparing for an ever-evolving climate. Enabling sensible design. We want to transform how we grow in Cheektowaga by modernizing our zoning to be more perspective to each neighborhood's current context, so that the west end of the town can feel like a walkable urban Main Street, while providing the more suburban spaces with a sense of character. Investing in our culture and heritage. A part of quality of life within a community is one sense of place. Our goal is to achieve this through better gateway signage that signals your arrival, paying homage to our historical heritage and cultural assets by more acknowledgement of significant places. Lastly, enabling more community public art to create more vibrant and individualized neighborhoods. Reimagine our center. I talked about destination shopping and dining already, but the reality is that the area around Walden and Union Road is the heart of our community. Beginning to analyze and plan for this area's transformation into a denser mixed-use region will be key to our growth. Preparing for a smart tomorrow. Technology is all around us, and the way we interact is evolving every day. Integrating our infrastructure to interact more will allow for increased safety and monitoring to the systems connected. Our current town-wide LED streetlight conversion, currently in the preparation stage, will initiate one of the early steps by providing lamps with smart technology, allowing for additional weather and safety monitoring components to be integrated. Expanding our transportation reach. Beginning to plan for and integrate more transportation modes will provide for a more connected community, regionally and beyond. Shifting the focus from a car-dependent community to a rather transit dependent community. Bettering the quality of life. Ultimately, the objective is to take this plan and implement the actions identified, creating a better quality of life for the Cheektowaga community and those who spend time in our town. Steps already taken. Currently working with Go Bike Buffalo, who is helping to implement the Creating Healthy Schools and Community program in conjunction with Erie One BOCES to provide better pedestrian accessibility and bicycle infrastructure. Continuing our relationship with the UB Regional Institute to continue the stewardship of the Climate Smart Communities designation. And actively exploring funding opportunities to better our parks and increase community safety. This new comprehensive plan will be a true boost for the town. It will cover future growth and intentions to fulfill our vision. Many thanks to everyone who has put this plan together. I do want to recognize our junior planner, Dan Young, for helping me put this presentation together and helping us put this comprehensive plan together. Thank you. We waited so long for this. Let us give him a round of applause. Department reports. As you are aware, technology looks different to us as a result of the pandemic and has certainly altered our demand and need for technology. On the forefront of every technology decision we make is that of cybersecurity and risk management. The security of our information and technical assets is of paramount importance due to the increase in the amount of data being collected and managed. Over the past year, our team has provided connectivity for our entire workforce, so we were able to continue to provide governmental services. A thorough review of some of our systems this past year has led us to modernize some of our large-scale software platforms in an effort to provide digital access for our residents. An example of this is a focus on deploying increased services through a new property management system. Our technology team aided in the design and implementation of several virtual environments. As one of the first justice courts to completely virtualize arraignments, we were able to continue to offer services and protect our residents. Another one of our successes was the design of a hybrid assessment grievance day. Our town was the only office in the state to have had the ability to offer our residents a virtual meeting option. A longtime goal of our town board was to offer better accessibility to our public meetings. Over this past year, we were able to implement this technology and stream our meetings live on YouTube. We are now able to allow our residents more involvement in Cheektowaga town government without having to leave our homes. I do want to recognize Lisa Bolognese, our director of technology, for getting all these things together for us. It's been a challenging year, and thank you for all your help. Our senior center, while we're here tonight, today, Carrie Peak, our director of our senior center, has done a great job with staff. They never stopped keeping in touch with our senior residents throughout the entire pandemic. They continued using their email contact list to over 4,000 residents to connect with their members, to answer questions, provide resources, and even provide comfort and calm during a difficult time for some of our more isolated seniors. Our senior Going Places van service continue to run to get our seniors to their doctor appointments, other medical treatments, and grocery shopping. Throughout the entire year, our Stay Fit Dining program, in partnership with Erie County Senior Services, saw changes and safety plans, but still continue to serve lunch. The frozen meal option is now available to seniors, in addition to our in-house congregate dining. Our center hosts numerous COVID-19 vaccine clinics sponsored by the Erie County Health Department and Rite Aid Pharmacy. In November and December, they hosted COVID-19 booster clinics sponsored by Tom's Pharmacy. And they will continue hosting these clinics in 2022. Also in May, Erie County Legislator Tim Myers presented a check for $20,000 to the Senior Center for programming and equipment. We were able to host a few special events for our members and look forward to spending the rest of the money in 2022. The Cheektowaga Senior Travel Club got right back on the road. Their board of officers followed strict safety protocols, and in addition to their trips, offered a great summer picnic and a holiday party in December. And on November 10th, our senior center department was recognized by the Cheektowaga Chamber of Commerce and awarded one of their community impact awards. Let's give them and Carrie Peak a round of applause. We have been busy applying for and implementing many grants for this past year. The town received an award of $25,000 from Assemblymember Monica Wallace for intramural sports programs through the Youth and Recreation Department. Assemblymember Wallace also secured $125,000 for the town to construct 4 pickleball courts at Town Park, and also towards the development of the Neil Bateman Veterans Memorial Garden. Through the United Way of Buffalo and Erie County, the town was the recipient of Born Learning Trails. These Born Learning Trails will give parents, caregivers, and their children opportunities to engage in fun and physical learning activities in the North Creek, South Creek Park. To date, the O'Donnell and Associates team has worked with the town and Senator Tim Kennedy and Assemblymember Monica Wallace to secure almost $35 million for its wastewater infrastructure for improvements tied to the DEC consent order. In June, the town received another $1 million that was secured from Senator Tim Kennedy for the cleanup of Skajapata Creek. The town was also awarded a $100,000 engineering planning grant to study the effectiveness of potential remedies to undertake the final phase of the DEC consent order project. Let us give Senator Tim Kennedy, Assemblymember Monica Wallace, and O'Donnell and Associates a big round of applause. One of our biggest priorities has been targeting neighborhood and housing issues. To that end, our town has now reduced the number of abandoned zombie homes from 545 in 2016, I became supervisor, to 167 at the end of 2021. Every year we are seeing that number get smaller and smaller. Thank you to our entire community development office, headed by Rachel Straker. Thank you, Rachel, for taking on this huge task and seeing these great results. Let's give them a huge round. News and new projects. In July, we learned the devastating news that our then Chief of Police, Michael Slawinski, had passed away suddenly. However, we were blessed to have an outstanding Assistant Chief of Police, and the town board quickly appointed Brian Gould to the position of Chief of Police on August 5th. Brian, can you stand for everyone so we could recognize you? In September, I had the honor of appointing Elias Farah as Deputy Supervisor. Mr. Farah's extensive resume as an attorney and experience in state and local government makes him an outstanding choice for Deputy Supervisor. Elias, can you stand so everybody will know who my deputy is? I welcome to our new town historian, Maureen Gleason, in October. As a professional genealogist for decades, Maureen has publications in Western New York Heritage, presents Erie County 1821 to 2021. Maureen has the passion, knowledge, and skills needed to perform the tasks of town historian, and is a true asset to our community. In addition, we had several new appointments to the town staff, including Emergency Services Manager Mike Mazurowski. Today we have Brian Horsman. Brian, can you stand? He's our new coordinator of employee relations. And I'd like to recognize new town planner Nick Cultura and assistant town planner Dan Young here today. And our director of community development, Rachel Straker. I didn't recognize you last year, so this year we're going to get that going for you. Rachel again. And we did appoint a new general crew chief of parks and facilities who couldn't be here today, John Jashelke, and general crew chief of our sewer department, Luke Erico. There were also additional highlights of the year that I would like to mention. The long-awaited grand opening of the Aaron M. Kennefic unit of the Russell J. Salvatore Boys and Girls Club of Depew, Lancaster, took place on September 2nd here at Cheektowaga at our Alexander Building. The Boys and Girls Club provides a safe after-school environment for children that will help develop career readiness, reduce crime and juvenile delinquency, and provide affordable and quality childcare. The town board also this past year chose to opt into the sale of cannabis that will generate additional tax revenue for the town. Results of the 2020 census show that the town's population increased to 89,877, a 1.9% increase from the last census that was done 10 years ago. Diamond Hawk Golf Course saw new ownership in the spring of 2021. And it has been a huge success for residents and visitors to the Western New York area. If you haven't visited the golf course, I encourage you to do so. Also in August, National Night Out took a new spin that included a first time ever Touch a Truck event and career job fair, live music, and a chicken barbecue. Some sad news, unfortunately. We learned of the news that the Leonard VFW Post was selling their building on Walden Avenue. The town was fortunate enough to transfer the Gold Star Mothers Memorial Monument that was there, along with their Veterans Monument, to Cheektowaga Town Park, amongst our other monuments honoring our fallen soldiers and police officers. On a good note, as a tribute to the many town veterans who bravely, excuse me, and honorably served the United States, excuse me, Armed Forces, the town board renamed Nob Hill Park to Veterans Park at Nob Hill and named a memorial garden to honor Private First Class Neil Bateman, who made the ultimate sacrifice to his country. We'll move on now to our engineering projects. We needed to continue reinvesting in our aging infrastructure for repaving streets and replacing drainage systems, and also follow our New York State mandated DEC consent order to improve our aging sanitary sewer system. The town is working on year 7 of a 10-year time frame to complete the work under the DEC consent order, including sanitary sewer lining and manhole rehabilitation. In addition, the town completed the inspection of over 3,000 sanitary sewer connections in our pilot study area. In 2021, our engineering department and highway staff coordinated the repavement of 24 streets, totaling 8.52 miles of town-owned highways. New replacement storm drainage was also installed on 14 streets, and over 34,000 lineal feet of pipe was installed as part of the work. Also, the storm sewer improvements on Andrews and Alcott were installed as part of a complete road reconstruction project on each street. With the improving economy in 2021, I am very pleased to announce excellent commerce growth in our town. A few of the newer businesses that have joined the Chamber of Commerce over the course of 2021 are United Healthcare, Motion Project Foundation. I want to acknowledge Mary Lynn Barnhart in attendance this morning. Mary Lynn, thank you. If anybody hasn't read up on the Motion Project, really is a wonderful thing that you're doing. And thank you to you and your daughter. Buffalo Airport Hotel by Stephen Development. They are also an event sponsor today. FedEx Ground is doing some innovative things in workforce recruitment and retention for their new Walden Avenue site. Greenlight Networks and Go NetSpeed, two known high-speed internet companies who will be offering their services to our residents sometime in 2022. Also, let's not forget to recognize the Cheektowaga Economic Development Corporation and Christina Groff, who has taken on the president role with the goal to use the town's resources and expand it further. The CEDC has appointed some new board members, and the new website will be launching soon with additional tools for business recruitment and retention. Also important to know is that the CEDC is still currently lending at 0.5% interest and has a job creation component that the business must create at least one low to moderate income job per $35,000 lent. Recent loans aiding in local business expansion have included Hansley and Sausage and Gordon companies. And there are several interested businesses in the pipeline. Let us give them all a round of applause. In addition, our strong record of exciting new commercial development has increased in town that will provide jobs and new properties on our town tax roll. Some of these projects include Calspan's construction of a new hypersonic testing facility. Young Development at 4800 Transit Road is launching a multifamily project. Texas Roadhouse addition of a covered patio for outdoor dining. Chick-fil-A on Walden Avenue. Benderson's redevelopment of phase 2 at the former Garden Village Plaza. Five-star automotive. Town Automotive Services. Rushniak Service and Buffalo Wood Turning Products. I would also like to mention that we had some pending projects that saw important milestones this year. Angela's House at 500 Dote Street had their groundbreaking ceremony, launching their long-awaited affordable housing project driven by the Felician Franciscan Sisters, along with the ribbon cutting of the new DePaul Apple Blossom Apartments. This much-needed facility will house income-eligible tenants, those who are deaf, and those who may need additional support services. To all of the businesses and nonprofits who make up the cultural and economic fabric of our town, thank you for all you do to grow Cheektowaga. Give yourselves a round of applause. With the new year comes fresh starts, resolutions, and new beginnings. The years 2020 and 2021 brought challenges, but they are behind us now. Let us continue to move forward and build on our traditions and modernization and set new goals for 2022. Thank you for the opportunity to present the Cheektowaga State of the Town, and have a great year, everyone.
Supervisor Benchkowski, thank you so much. We so appreciate the opportunity to host the State of the Town each year and look forward to continuing to work together. We're fortunate for such a to have such a strong partnership with the town. Thank you. As we close, I think that we can all agree the past year has been yet another challenging one. Though we don't grow when things are easy, we grow when we face challenges. And as we heard today, there has been growth and there have been stories of inspiration and positivity. And for every example that we heard today, I know there are thousands more. The future of our community is strong because the people in our community are strong. And I'm excited to see what's in store for the future. Thank you all again for being here this morning. Safe travels and have a great weekend.